Hey everybody, it's Missy, and I'm so excited to be the April guest designer for Scrapbook Circle. And I'm going to be making a layout today using the main kit for April and both of the embellishment add-on kits. I love this packaging from the Ellie Studio Little Moments bits and pieces, and so I'm going to use that as a layering piece. And I've chosen several papers from the kit and some of the 6x6 papers here. And in both of the embellishment kits, one of them contains the Dear Lizzie Happy Place 6x6, and the other one contains the Pink Fresh Studio Felicity. And so I've chosen several papers from those 6x6 pads. I'm going to use this beautiful Simple Stories polka dot paper, and my background is going to be this beautiful Webster's Pages wood grain sheet, and it's a really pretty blue color. And I'm just going to use some white gesso here to prime the background before I start to add some mixed media work to it. And it's just going to give my paper some texture, and it's going to stiffen it up a little bit, and it's also going to add some white to the background. And if you don't like to use white gesso, they do make clear gesso, and I use both. It just depends on the project that I'm working with. So my first idea was to cut out a bunch of these circles from the Simple Stories sheet here. And this is from the Carpe Diem collection. I just love all the colors, and I love that some of the circles are by themselves and some of them are overlapped. And the idea that I had was to cut a bunch of them out and to kind of make a circle explosion type of design on the background. And so I'm just going to take some time and cut out some of these circles and kind of get them spaced out how I want them before I start to add my mixed media, because I want to kind of know what my design is going to look like, so I don't do a bunch of mixed media first and then cover it all up. So I'm going to plan this out before I start to get messy. So this is kind of the design so far that I've come up with, and now I'm going to add more circles. And this is a 1.5 inch circle punch from my stash, and I'm going to use some of the 6x6 papers that I picked out here to create a little bit more circles. I love that bird paper from the Pink Fresh Studio collection. It's super cute and perfect for spring or summer. It's just really, really cute. I'm going to use some of these 6x6 papers for layers as well, and I'm going to create a couple of layers behind my picture. And I printed my picture in black and white simply because it was kind of busy with a lot of color going on, and the black and white will help all of the other colors pop. That beautiful mint corrugated paper is from Fancy Pants, and it's included in the kit, the main kit, and I love the texture it gives, and it punched very easily for me. This is some tissue paper from my stash. This is something that I like to do lately. It's just something that I like to add behind my pictures. It gives it sort of like a little look of vellum, I guess you could say. It also gives it a little bit of texture, and just gives it another layering piece. I'm just going to play around for a few minutes here with the layers, because I want to make sure that each of the layer that I add, you can see it before I staple it together. Now I'm going to move all those circles, but I knew that if I moved them, I would not get them back exactly how I had them. So I just snapped a quick picture with my phone, so when I go back to add the circles, I can pull that up and know exactly where they're going to go. Okay, so now for the mixed media, I'm going to use some of my Shimmers products, and these are from my stash, and they're just spray inks. This is a Colorings, and it's just a flat color. There's no shimmer or sparkle to it, and it's one of my favorite colors. I tend to use teal a lot, and there's some really pretty teals in these papers. So I'm going to do the packaging technique where you just spray it on and turn it over and smudge it around, and now I'm going to add some splatters. I just like getting messy. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just a matter of playing with your paints or your sprays or whatever your product is. This is some paint, and this is the perfect color to match that really cute mint corrugated paper, and this is some distress paint, and I'm just going to treat it the same way. I just smudge it onto the plastic, add some water, turn it over, and smudge it around. And this is the fun part of creating a background for me, is just getting messy, and it's supposed to look random, it is supposed to look abstract, and if there's something that you wind up not liking, it's easy to cover it up, cover it up with an embellishment or add some gesso on top of it and go for it again with a different color. It's kind of hard to mess it up. This is another watercolor. This is a, what is this? An Inklings, and it's a really pretty darker teal color. It's called Blue Lagoon. And I'm using a water brush here. I'm just squirting a little bit of water into the container and then swirling it around and then squeezing it as I splatter it. And it drops colored water onto the paper there. And I like to use thin napkins to dab up some of the wetness, and that's actually a Subway napkin. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I keep the napkins when we eat at Subway because they're thin and they're perfect for soaking up extra paint or water or whatever mess you're making. So I just keep going. I made sure that the teal dried, and now I'm going to come in with a little bit of a pinky peach color here. I'm trying to match some of the colors that are in those circles, and you've got a pink and then you've got that really pretty coral color, and so this is kind of a cross in between those two. And I didn't want to add a lot of any more packaging technique with another color since there's so much of the teal going on, but I did want hints of the pink and the coral, and so I'm just using paints to kind of splatter it around so you can still see the idea of these other colors without it being too much. And this is a pink color. I believe it's called Pretty in Pink, and this is the colorings as well, so there's not any sparkle to it. The Inklings that I used, it was in the little container, that does have some shimmer to it. And again, I'm just going to dab it up a little bit, and now that it's dry, you can kind of see how the splatters of the pink and the coral are very subtle. You know, I didn't want to be overwhelming with other colors. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to pull up my picture that I took because I had no idea how I had those circles arranged. So, and it's still not exactly the way I had it, but it's okay. And I kind of want it to look like a, you know, a confetti explosion. They're just kind of in random spots behind the picture. And I love all the little pops of color and different patterns from the paper. So I'm going to just stick all of these down, and I am going to wind up stitching through some of these with my sewing machine just for added texture and interest. And you can see there I did some little crisscrosses between some of them, not all of them. Now everything in the background is dry, so now it's just a matter of embellishing, and I'm going to use some of these pink fresh washi tape strips and add a couple of them. I love these cute little sayings. They're perfect. And I like that the tape on the sayings is pretty much transparent. It's not going to cover up anything, and you can't even really see it when you look at it. This is another technique that I love to do, and that's add tangled thread. And so it's just the same thread that I use with my sewing machine. I just pull a couple of arm lengths off and bunch it up into little loops like this, and then I like to layer it underneath the paper, underneath my photo or underneath the layers, or an embellishment. It just depends on what I'm working on at the time. And I love how that looks. It just gives it a little bit of a messy look, but it also adds some black, because I love that there's some pops of black going on throughout the layout. And the color of the photo is black and white too, so. And I really love this acrylic Lucky piece. It's so cute. I love that it's black. It's the perfect pop of black, and it's also perfect for a title. And so I'm going to layer that on top of one of the Ellie's Studio tag labels there that says "What Matters Most." And I'm going to stick Lucky right on top of it. It's really, really fun, and it's easy to create a title when you have these cute little pieces like this, because it just automatically gives you an idea, and it takes the guessing work out of, you know, what my title going to be, because sometimes coming up with a title is the hardest part of the layout for me. These are some of the Simple Stories Carpe Diem self-adhesive brads, and they are super awesome. They just stick right down, and so I used a couple of them around the page, and again, they're circles, and so it worked out great since I've got a bunch of circles going on already. And this is from the Dear Lizzie 6x6 paper pad. Just cut that little piece out and says it's a beautiful day to start. And And then this is sunshine and happiness, I think is what it says. This is more Pink Fresh. There's a pack of these cute little phrases and quotes, and I love that the background looks watercolory and messy. So I'm going to use several of the little stickers to go around the layout. Smile today. I think I'm going to use one that says fabulous. This moment. You know, and these are pretty generic, so you could use these on any type of layout. They're not specifically geared toward one thing. And that one says captured. And I love the pops of pink. You also get these two cute little bows. I love, love, love that shiny blue one with the dots. And then you get the Pink Fresh Studio adhesive puffy sequin stickers, and they are super cute. And I use the coral colored ones around the layout. I'm going to add some black ink splatters, and then this was going to be my final thing, but I do come back in after I do this. I put it aside and looked at it and decided to add more. I needed something right there on the left of the photo, and so I used one of the gray hearts from the Ellie Studio ephemera pack, and then I'm going to cut one of these tiny little cameras from the Dear Lizzie paper and layer that on top. And then I actually do even more after I turn off the camera. I came back to it, and on the back of that Simple Stories polka dot, the dots that I cut out, on the back of it, it's black with white scripty words, and I just cut out the word today and the word love and stuck it up top and down below. And there's my final page. I did add in my journaling and my date stamp. I love how this turned out. This is a beautiful kit. You can really mix and match and come up with some really, really cute color schemes, lots of patterns, lots of colors. It was really, really fun. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm going to have 2 more projects coming up for Scrapbook Circle this month. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Have a great day.